Welcome everyone. In this video, I am going to discuss about control statements or decision making statements. So from the name itself, it is clear that we are going to make some decisions using the statements. So there are four types of control statements. First one is if statement, second if else, third if else if, it is also known as nested if else, and the last one is switch case. So let us see the syntax for if statement. So first we are going to write if, then within bracket we are going to write down the condition, and within the loop there will be a block of statements. If the condition is true, then only we are going to execute these statements. And mind that you should not give any semicolon here. Even if you give semicolon, there won't be any error. So but if you give semicolon, these statements won't be executed even if it is true. So you should take care that you should not give semicolon here. So this is the syntax chart. So what will happen? So first we are going to check the condition here. So since the condition is always checked in a diamond, so we are using this symbol. Now if this condition is true, we are going to execute this block of statements, and if it is false, we are going to go to whatever statements that are going to follow this block. So if it is true, it will be executed, this block will be executed, and then we will go to the normal statements. And if this condition is false, then we will directly go to the normal statements that will follow after the if else block. Now the normal statements may or may not be present in your program depending on what program you are doing. Second statement is if else statement. So this is the syntax. So I will write if within bracket the condition. If it is true, this block of statements will be executed, and if the condition is false, we will go to else part, and then we will execute these statements. And mind it, the condition we are going to write here only. In else part we are not going to write any condition, and there is no semicolon after if and else. And one more thing to note, that if and else are keywords. So till now whatever we have learned, how many keywords we know? We know all the data types like int, float, void, double, all the data types are the keywords. Then apart from that, constant, to create a constant we use the keyword const, that is also a keyword. Then after that we learned about size of, which is a keyword, and then if else. So these are the keywords that we know till now. So this is the syntax. Now let's come to the flowchart. So in flowchart, first we are going to check the condition. If it is true, this block of statements will be executed, and if it is false, this block of statements will be executed. Then after that, the control will go to the next statements that will follow, which may or may not follow depending on what program you are doing. The next statement is if else if statement, which is also known as nested if else. So here you see, first we are going to start, then we are going to check in what happens in nested if else is that there will be many conditions that we need to check. In if and if else we were checking only one conditions, but when we are having more than one conditions, then we will go for nested if else or if else if. So here you see, first we are going to check condition 1. Now if it is true, we are going to execute this statement. Suppose this condition 1 is false, then we are going to check condition 2. So if it is true, we are going to execute statement 2. Again, if this is also false, we are going to check the next condition, and then again if it is true, we are going to execute, otherwise we are going to go to the next condition. So similarly, suppose there are 3 conditions available, then there will be 2 condition 1 and condition 2, and the next part will be else, and then we are going to come out of the loop. So if the last condition is also false, we are going to execute these statements, which then after that we are going to come out of the loop and end the if else if statement. So this is the flow chart. Now let us go and see the syntax. Let us see the syntax. So what happens here we are going to write down if condition 1. So if it is true, this block of statements will be executed. Then we are going to check the next condition, else if condition 2 is true, then we are going to execute these statements. Like that we are going to keep on checking the conditions, and suppose there are 4 conditions, then there will be, first one will be if, second one will be else if, third one will be else if, and the last one we are not going to write any condition here. We are simply going to, if none of the conditions are true, then else part we will execute this block of statements. So when we will go through the programs, it will become more clear. So this is the syntax for if, else if or nested if else condition. The last statement is switch case or switch statement. So here we will write down switch, and then after that we are going to write down the conditional statements. Now after that some terms comes which is known as case 1. So if case 1 is true, you are going to execute this statement. Then suppose case 1 is false, we will go and check case 2. So if case 2 is true, this will be executed. Then again if case 3 is true, this one. Like that you will check all the cases. So for this case and this statements will be executed, and suppose none of the cases are true, then this default statement will be executed, and finally we will come to the statements after the switch case. So this is the flowchart for switch case. When we will do programs, it will become crystal clear. Let's see the syntax for switch case. So here we will write down switch, then we will be writing some variable here. So in program I will show what variable you should write here. Then after that you will write case, some value 1, colon, then this block of statements, and then you will write down break. Why we write down break? Suppose this condition is true, so this block of statements will be executed. Then whenever a break is seen, so it will come out of the immediate loop. So what is the immediate loop? This one. So after this, looking at the break, it is not going to execute these statements, it will come out of the loop. That's why we have given break. Since this is true, since case value 1, since value 1 is true, so we are not going to check the remaining values. Suppose this is false, then it will check the next value. This is also false, then it will keep on checking all the remaining values. Suppose none of the case is true, then it will, by default this block will be executed. Then it will, since break is there, so it will come out of the loop. Then these value 1, value 2, whatever is this, it depends on the variable. Suppose here I am passing the variable a, and the values of a is suppose 1, and suppose value 2 value is also 1, then this block of statement will be executed, the remaining won't be executed. So in program it will become more clear. So in this syntax you just see how it is written. So here in this particular syntax, switch is a keyword, then case is also a keyword, and break is also a keyword.